How do you read where the Tory party is going to take this? So Graham Brady's saying, we've got a week to sort this out.
Sure. I mean, what they are is a hotbed of hatreds right now. There are those who back Sunak and those who can't bear the man. There are those who back Hunt and those who can't. They call him Mr. 18, a reference to the number of votes that he got in.
Ooh, ouch.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then there are those who bring back Boris. And believe it or not, you know, I mean, sort of having committed unpardonable sins, and I think, well, he's less rubbish than the other lot.
So is it least worst candidate? Is that what you're saying?
I think it could turn out that way. I mean, actually, I know the mechanism for exactly how they plan to sort of put together this lightning week-long leadership campaign is, I don't think the details have emerged yet, but raising the bar, so in the end with just one candidate. But it's a very tall order, and you think to yourself, listen, is this party governable at all? It's rhythm is blitz. Well, it's a good question, and it's a question that impacts on the nation, because the markets, as I understand it, are being sort of relatively, well, they just don't know which way to jump at present.
Caught in the headlights.
Totally caught in the headlights. A bit like how Jeremy Hunt tends to look. Never mind.
Oh, no, don't be naughty now.
No, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Have you ever known anything like it, though, in all your years of reporting on politics?
God, no, nothing like it. I mean, the eminent political historian Sir Anthony Seldon wrote this morning, this is the most extraordinary crisis since the Second World War. I mean, it sort of rivals the Suez crisis. And he said even the huge crises in the 1970s, at least the cabinet was behind the Prime Minister at the start.
Do you think there's something about when parties have been in power for more than a decade, they just start to lose the discipline, the steam, the focus? Is it sort of axiomatic after your party has been in government that you start to go off the rails a bit?
Historical precedent would suggest it most certainly is. And it's logical, they sort of get tired. And also there's the old cliche that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I mean, one has looked no further than President Putin for that. But yeah, I mean, very few parties have remained in power for much longer than that because, and also just the voters get bored with them. Yeah,
and clearly there's more than boredom this time. There is real worry about how the economic situation is being handled and what will happen, for instance, April onwards when this particular energy price deal runs out. So we are perhaps talking about growing pressures for a general election.
Oh, yes.
There is no doubt, looking at the polls, that it will be a wipeout for the Tories. Some suggestions 200 MPs would go. Does that mean the end of the Tory party as we know it now, that they will have to go back to the drawing board and reassess who they are and where they are?
Well, I mean, I think if Starmer gets his way and there actually is a general election, then of course they will, because, I mean, the polls are sort of unequivocal and unanimous on this subject. I mean, yeah. And it's going to be a really beastly time for them because there'll be such long queues for ex-Tory MPs that they're going to be in serious trouble. But, yeah, of course they will have to regroup totally and work out what it is they stand for and what it is they... Because right now they have no idea.